I think we connected right away and had a shared sensibility. I'm like a super fan. It's been so many years now. We've been friends for 20 years?
More than 20
More than 20 years.
More than 20 years, yeah. Oh.
I met Nicolas before I met my husband.
Let's start at the beginning. When did you first meet, even maybe before fashion came into the friendship?
Nicolas designed a dress for me for the Academy Awards, the year that I was nominated. I don't know what year that was a long time ago. And he made that dress, and that's where we met.
So that was the very beginning.
When
the making of the dress.
We met around the project of designing a dress.
Yeah.
And it was extraordinary. I remember we went in Soho in New York.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember when you walked in this meeting, like it was yesterday, honestly. I can picture the moment. So it was really special. I felt right away that it was special. And I was, of course, very honored and excited. But more than that, it was also the first dress I was ever designing for a red carpet.
That was the very first one.
Yeah. When Jennifer asked me, it was the very first one that I customed. And so, of course, meeting Jennifer first and all the admiration I had for her. But then when I saw how cool she was on her approach to designing the dress, well, that was a gift. But I wanted to ask you, what was your experience with first discovering fashion since you started so young?
I started before making movies. When I was 10, I was a fit model I don't know if I ever told you, for Perry Ellis. Perry Ellis had kids' clothes in the 80s. So I was going to the studio and trying on the clothes. And that was really my first experience with fashion.
Okay.
Well, the dress was gorgeous. I mean, I remember that dress like it was yesterday. Did you have any idea when you started working with Nicolas what you wanted in the dress?
I don't remember coming to it with any preconceived notions, but I loved what he proposed, which to me, it felt like, I don't know, it felt cool. I thought it was cool. It had an easiness to it. I love that it wasn't overly embellished. Something about it felt really special, but like it had always been. Like it was something I hadn't seen before, but like it had kind of always existed, I love that the embellishment was this long scarf.
Color was very interesting.
Yeah.
For a red carpet dress, it was a very interesting choice of color because it was almost like not a color.
It was a game changer. Now we can say. And I think the moment we did it, we didn't do that consciously, but it was clearly a game changer in a different way. It's the way I see it. It was very natural, I think, again, in the process, but also I think there was that moment that there was so much judgment and competition about dressing and overdressing. And I think the way Jennifer approached it was very cool. And you were not really interested to play that card, that game. And I think that was very constructive for me to understand how much freedom wearing a dress like that was giving also to other women somehow. That the possibility and the freedom to wear something quite unconventional, we can say today, for that type of event. So I think I really strongly believe it has opened the door of many possibilities for dressing on the red carpet. I mean, I realized that.
And you won, which had.
And I won, which was great.
And you did. And you did. I was in Japan having breakfast when you won with the time difference.
You did?
You know
you
that?
You didn't watch it at the time?
We were in Japan for work. And, of course, we were watching, and it was breakfast time. And I remember this moment very well. So it was incredible when you stand up.
And that was your first red carpet dress?
Yeah. What a special moment. And I think it gave me, that experience gave me also a lot of freedom for the future, work with talents and to be, very open mind and also try to break some rules,
And then did you immediately feel a personal connection as well? Did you feel that you would become the lifelong friends that you've become?
I think we connected right away and had a shared sensibility, and we continued working together, and it kind of just kept going from there. But it's definitely deepened over time, for sure. I mean, it's been so many years now. We've been friends for 20 years?
More than 20 years.
More than 20
years, yeah. Oh.
I met Nicolas before I met my husband.
Really?
And I've been married, in January it'll be 21 years.
Yeah.
You're sort of married.
Yeah. That's a good year.
So,
What a good
yeah.
year. Yeah, I saw a few kids growing too.
I know, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, here's a bit of a delicate question. Because you're such good friends, is there ever a moment where you feel you can't say something like, oh, that didn't look good, or I don't really love that color, or something that becomes a little bit awkward? Or does the friendship actually make it easier?
I mean, I believe it's because we are friends that's good to be able to share that level of discussion and be what's right for the moment.
I don't have that feeling. I feel really comfortable. I also feel like sometimes I trust Nicolas so much and I really love his work so much. I'm like a super fan. I love that he wants me to wear his clothes, honestly. And I love, it brings me joy to wear the clothes the way he kind of envisions them. And also I think we have a shared sensibility. Like I love his aesthetic. So it doesn't really come up much that there's something, maybe there's this thing where I'll say like, oh, I kind of feel like we've done a bunch of high neck things. Can we do something a little more open or something like that? Or sometimes it's the way something fits that we talk about in detail. That kind of stuff.
It's more that stuff.
It's less conceptual.
It's more technical
and more
and conceptual.
like adapting it to how it fits.
Because you will anticipate, like, if I show you a fabric or if we discuss about that, you will anticipate the way it's gonna fit the body.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you really have that perception of you understand so well that you can already anticipate what could be the result with the question that goes with that. And of course, it's never 100% sure that the dress will be perfect at the first fitting. So it's always a great discussion because it's supporting me also in the process of creation. So I enjoy that very much every time. But now I'm very proud. Jennifer was presenting the Oscar. Presenting at the Oscar this year, and I was there for the first time. I could see you on stage.
Show.
I was at the show. I wanted to go. It was the first time, so I was so it was extraordinary for me to be there, but also to see you on stage. And we've been to many events together, but. Yeah, it was beautiful to see you in your world. Because also, I mean, you very often come to my world when you come to fashion shows or when we do like things socially together. Right. So for me, it was also an important moment this year.
You have changed shapes a lot of the time. Like you actually almost say, okay, it's not going to be square, it'll be round, whatever it is. You've created a different collar, a different sleeve, a different proportion. Does that ever is that your mission, or do you feel it's scary, or is that when it scares you, do you feel that's a good thing?
It's good when it's a little scary, of course. It's also good when it comes from fashion shows, because fashion shows are the platform of and the moment of expression the most extreme and the most personal somehow. So when special dress, a custom dress is inspired from or takes something from the show, I'm always very happy. And it's usually it works like that.
Yeah.
Because it means that the risk or the proposition we take and at the moment of the fashion shows is also is also inspiring for other moments than the clothes we are designing for that catwalk. And that's something, for example, that helps me a lot to cross some limits for red carpet dresses or custom dresses. But what I really enjoy is the fact that the first expression of that comes from a pure fashion moment, which is the show.
Yeah. So the show is at your heart, in a sense.
Yeah, it is. It has to be. It has to be.
Yeah.
We have to keep that. I know there is hundreds or thousands of fashion shows today and it's great, but it's a very unique moment. It's very important to really say that loudly that, it's a live event that will happen only once.
Well, I think we have to end. They've poked me.
Okay.
But it's so fun to talk to both of you. All right. Well, thank you so much. You guys were fantastic. That was so fun.
Thank you, Lynn. It was
Thank you. That was
Jennifer,
fun.
thank you so much.
Thank you. That was so funny.
Amazing. So happy.